So I'm recording this video in the 10-minute break that I have in between marketing and media performance. There has been a one-for-one trade in the NHL. The Carolina Hurricanes and the Minnesota Wild have swapped young forwards. Nino Niederreiter, who is a left wing and a right wing on most nights, has been swapped for center Victor Rask. And obviously, Niederreiter goes from the Wild to the Hurricanes. Rask is going from the Canes to the Wild. And this is one that a lot of people have been kind of shaken up a little bit by, because Victor Rask is not necessarily up to par with Nino Niederreiter, at least when it comes to the numbers. If you just look at the numbers, you can see that Victor Rask is at 6 points in 26 games. He was injured for the beginning portion of the season, and it really slowed him down when he came back. Nino Niederreiter, on the other hand, has played 46 games this year, and he's at 23 points. He's on pace for roughly 16-ish goals. Victor Rask is on pace for approximately 18 points if he played 82 games. So, obviously the value is not there in the numbers. However, it is obvious if you're a fan of both of these teams to just understand kind of why this happened the way it did. These two guys are two players who kind of needed a change of scenery on both ends. They're not necessarily up to the same standards as they were in the past, and that is very evident with Victor Rask, who basically got himself 2 straight 45-plus point seasons before getting 30 points in Carolina last year in 71 games, and only having this slow start with the Hurricanes this year. Now, he'll probably be able to slot in a third-line position with the Minnesota Wild, right there behind Eric Staal and Mikko Koivu. So obviously, it's probably better to have him as a center instead of a guy like Joel Eriksson Ek or Luke Kunin or Matt Hendricks, all these guys who are capable of playing center. So I think it's going to be really interesting for him, especially with the recent addition of the Minnesota Wild for Pontus Aberg as well. The fact that he got added into the team too, it leads a new opportunity for these two guys to come in and basically do something with a Minnesota Wild team that's wanting to make the playoffs. As for Nino Niederreiter, my goodness, Nino Niederreiter playing on a first-line, maybe second-line role alongside of Tara Väinen and Sebastian Aho. Boy, that looks so good. And anybody who has been paying attention to the league kind of knows that Sebastian Aho is the real deal. He's at 51 points in 46 games. He's been the star of the Hurricanes this season. Imagine having a guy like Nino Niederreiter, who's already at 26-ish points, playing on his wing. That would be great. And honestly, I mean, Aho can play forward in any position, winger or center, so I'd be interested to see if they switch things up a little bit. But I'm expecting Nino Niederreiter to really bounce back in this opportunity, way more than I'm expecting Victor Rask to bounce back in this opportunity with the Wild. Because let's just face it, man, like, Rask has gotten off to a slow start and he's not all too good statistically. Nino Niederreiter was able to do really well, and this change of pace allows him to now prosper with one of the younger forward cores in the league. So overall, it's an interesting trade, certainly one that a lot of people would say that Carolina automatically won, because automatically it's easy to assume that Niederreiter is the better player. But at the same time, these two guys needed change of paces, and this trade provided them with that. Sure, could the Minnesota Wild have gotten a little bit more for Nino Niederreiter? Absolutely. They could have probably asked for a pick or something too. But that's just not what happened, and now this is what we have. Overall, it looks like a good trade for the Hurricanes, and a maybe trade for the Wild, if I had to be honest here. Well, I have to go to class now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Plus, thank you for gaming, and bye.